Welcome everyone. I'm Santosh Raikar, and today we're discussing a critical intersection in modern industry, the point where maintenance meets OT cybersecurity. We often think of cyber threats as invisible hackers, but in a planned environment, the risk is often physical and routine. Today, we'll explore what happens when a simple maintenance laptop becomes a plant-wide risk and how we can secure our assets through better inventory, remote access, and recovery protocols. Let's start with a scenario many of you might recognize. It's 10:42 a.m. in a continuous process mill. A specialist connects their service laptop to fix a drive fault. The drive is fixed, but suddenly, an engineering workstation starts behaving strangely, and the team realizes they can't match their backups to the running logic. In this high-pressure moment, the line between a configuration error and a cyber attack is blurred. The big question is, who has the authority to stop production and investigate? Why does this matter to us as maintenance practitioners? Because we already control the pathways into our technology. OT security isn't just about data. It's about physical safety and operational availability. We need to manage laptops and USBs with the same rigor we use for hazardous energy. It's a shared responsibility across maintenance, IT, and operations, where the ultimate control isn't just a firewall. It's the ability to recover from a known good state. By the end of this session, you should be able to translate cyber concepts into the language of safety and maintenance. We'll look at building defensible inventories, controlling vendor access, and integrating cyber checks into your existing work permits and MOC processes. Most importantly, I'll show you how to lead a practical 90-day pilot to prove these concepts work in your facility. Our first step is to see the risk clearly. We need to identify the system conditions that turn ordinary, well-intentioned maintenance work into enterprise-level risks. Before we solve problems, we must use precise language. When we say OT, we mean the physical controllers and networks. An asset inventory isn't just a list. It's a detailed record of what we have and how it's connected. We'll focus on least privilege, giving people only the access they need, and known good backups that are actually tested and ready for use. The cost of a cyber incident is far larger than a maintenance invoice. It impacts process safety, production continuity, and your reputation. When control logic is compromised, the plant's physical risk changes. Uncontrolled access by vendors or tools doesn't just threaten data. It threatens the repeatability and effectiveness of our entire maintenance program. Cyber failure rarely happens because of one bad act. It's a chain of weak controls. It starts with an unknown asset, leads to uncontrolled access via a shared password, continues with an untrusted tool like an unmanaged laptop, and results in configuration drift. By the time an outage occurs, the precursors were already embedded in our routine work. The warning signs are usually there if we look. We see shadow connections like temporary wireless links that never got removed, or orphan software that no one owns. We see backup theater, where files are copied, but never tested for restoration. If your team is debating ownership during an incident, that ambiguity is your loudest warning sign. I want you to ask yourselves these 8 questions. Can you list every critical PLC? Does every asset have a technical owner? Are your maintenance laptops hardened? Answer with evidence, not just intention. If you can't prove it with a log or a record, the system doesn't truly exist yet. Now that we see the risk, let's move to section 2, building a disciplined operating model that provides explicit decisions and verifiable evidence. Our model is guided by 5 principles. First, know what you operate. Second, control every pathway. Treat every laptop and account as a managed interface. Third, separate and contain systems to limit the spread of an issue. Fourth, ensure every change is backed by evidence. And finally, always practice your recovery. We call this the Secure 6 maintenance model. It's a 6-step loop. Discover, baseline, control access, manage change, detect and respond, and finally, recover and learn. This makes security practical because it attaches to your existing maintenance governance and field work. Phase 1 is discovery. This involves walking down critical systems and mapping out every external connection. The goal here is a validated OT asset and connectivity register. It's the foundation of everything else. and it's a shared accountability between automation and maintenance. Phase 2 is backlining. We need to know exactly what good looks like by capturing versions and logic hashes. We identify unsupported components and set recovery objectives. The output is an approved technical baseline that the control system owner can stand behind. Phase 3 is access control. We move away from shared passwords to named, least privilege accounts. We harden our service laptops so they aren't used for general browsing, and we ensure that all removable media is scanned and logged before it enters a controlled zone. Phase 4 is change management. Cyber checks must be linked to every intervention. This means risk assessing every patch and firmware update before deployment, and ensuring that every change is tied to a work order and a validated backup. Phase 5 is detect and respond. We need to recognize abnormal conditions safely. This requires OT-specific alerts and a clear isolation authority. When something goes wrong, the operations lead should have an integrated playbook that coordinates both the cyber and operational response. The final phase is recover and learn. If a compromise happens, we rebuild from a known good source and validate all logic and safeguards before returning to service. We don't just fix the system, we update our controls based on what we learned. To make this work, we need clear decision rules. For example, if an asset is missing from the inventory, we do not connect it until it's documented. If a vendor wants access, they use the brokered path, no exceptions. These rules prevent convenience from slowly becoming an unsafe policy. In Section 3, we'll discuss how to make this executable. We need to translate our model into actual field workflows, data points, and management rhythms. Reliability often fails in the gaps between departments. We need one accountable owner for each area. The plant manager sets the risk appetite. The maintenance leader owns the tools and vendors. Automation owns the logic. IT provides the monitoring, and operations owns the safe restart. Standard work is what turns our intent into repeatable execution. By following the secure 6 steps and adding a sustained phase for auditing and learning, we ensure that risk recognition leads directly to verified sustainment. Critical controls must be specific and observable. It's not enough to say we train people. We need an authoritative inventory, a dedicated laptop standard, brokered vendor access, and scheduled restore drills. Each of these is a defined action with a verification method. Don't drown in data. Capture only the minimum needed to change a decision. Record asset identity, the technical baseline, connectivity details, access evidence, change history, and incident timelines. This is the information that helps a team identify exposure and restore service. We measure what we want to manage. Use leading indicators like inventory coverage and backup verification to trigger action. If your restore success rate in drills is low, that's a clear signal to act before a real incident occurs. Culture becomes durable through a management cadence. From shift-level reviews of exceptions to annual strategy resets, this rhythm ensures that issues are escalated and standards are verified in the field without overwhelming the team with meetings. Technology should reinforce our discipline, not replace it. Tools for asset discovery, identity management, and secure gateways help us enforce the pathways we've approved. They reduce the need for unsafe improvisation by making the right way the easiest way. Finally, let's talk about how to apply, verify, and sustain these practices. We start small, prove it works, and then scale. Let's revisit our case study. A critical drive is down, production is stopped, and the vendor wants a direct internet hotspot. The drive parameters aren't version controlled. This is the decision point. How do you restore production without creating a massive, untraceable exposure? We apply the framework. We identify the drive's baseline, preserve the current configuration, and use a hardened site laptop for the vendor session. We risk assess the new firmware and monitor the entire process, only closing the session after a successful functional test. Success in this case is visible through behavior and evidence. No unmanaged connections were used. Every change is versioned, and recovery readiness actually improved after the repair. The lesson is simple. Urgency needs a prepared, controlled pathway. In your own training, try this tabletop exercise. A vendor reports an urgent vulnerability during peak production. Work through the facts of urgency, who owns the decision, and what compensating controls can protect you until a patch window opens. Beware of common traps. Don't treat cyber as IT only, and don't buy tools before you have an inventory. If you find yourself in the trap of backups without restore tests, the recovery move is simple. Run a stage drill with clear acceptance criteria. Here is your 90-day roadmap. Spend the first month seeing and baselining one critical area. In the second month, pilot your access controls. By the third month, run a restore tabletop and approve a plan to scale these successes to the rest of the site. When talking to management, frame cyber investment as a way to reduce process interruption and ensure safer recovery. It's not just about avoiding fear. It's about controlled lifecycle risk and increased stakeholder confidence. Value equals avoided disruption minus the cost of implementation. To keep ourselves honest, we use this 12-point field audit. Score only what you can actually observe or trace, whether it's named owners for assets or verified restore procedures. This audit proves that the system is working in the real world. In summary, maintenance can close the most common OT risk pathways without becoming a specialized cybersecurity department. Remember the leadership commitment: no unknown connections, no anonymous access, and no backup without a restore test. For those who want to dive deeper, I've compiled a list of standards and guidance from NIST, CISA, and the IEC. These resources provide the foundational frameworks for everything we've discussed today. I'd like to credit the industrial photography used throughout this presentation, sourced from Wikimedia Commons and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. These images remind us of the real-world environments we are working to protect. I'll leave you with one question to take back to your plant. What can connect to your system without your knowledge? Treat every digital pathway as an engineered maintenance interface. Make the risk visible, make the standard executable, and always verify the result. Thank you.